I wanted to sort of dive into a little bit the notion or the way things feel, especially with media and news and events coming out recently. By the way, filming on Easter, so happy Easter. It's not what this is about. If you guys are lucky, you may see a deer out here. I've seen a few. There's a little squirrel. Everything now, a lot of stuff has been coming out in the news. A lot of crazy events have been happening. A lot of conspiracies have been confirmed. A lot of people are vindicated but also disappointed that their conspiracy theories are true. I personally don't enjoy that a lot of these things I believed are true. So it's sort of a bittersweet, a lot more bitter than sweet. It feels like everything, personally, is so believable now. Say someone tells you something like, "Oh, did you hear this happen?" Stuff has been so crazy, and so many things have been happening that are just you would never expect. You know, you tell your childhood version of yourself, you're like, "Hey, this happened." You would think it's impossible. It's not real. It's fake. Tell yourself 5 years ago, even. But everything now has just become so insane and crazy that it's almost a sort of apathy as a reaction to a lot of these things, you know. And that's not good, obviously. Like, you should be enraged. You should be upset. You should feel wronged by a lot of these things. And I won't go into specifics. I'm sure you could come up with things on your own that you're upset about. There should be justice. There should be outcry. There should be condemning a lot of this stuff. And it just feels like so much crazy stuff and insanely terrible things have been happening that it's almost like, oh, it's another Tuesday. You know, and it's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be pushback. There's supposed to be pushback from the masses. You know, and I'm not promoting any kind of extremism, violence, or anything like that. I'm saying calling out. I'm saying not accepting and moving on. I'm saying speaking up, having an opinion, voicing your opinion in real life, not just on Twitter or on TikTok or whatever. Having your opinions and holding by them. Whether you're at work, I'm not saying you should get fired, because a lot of these things, you know what I mean? But I guess in places like casually, a lot of times people will, and I've done it, people will soften their opinion, or they just won't even voice it, to sort of smooth things over, to keep things peaceful, to sort of, I guess, make it easier. And it's wrong. It's very easy to fall into. It's comfortable, but it's wrong. You know, I find myself holding my tongue a lot. And there are times when you should be holding your tongue. And there are times when you should be, for the sake of peace, not bringing something up unnecessarily. And that's up to your own estimate and examination. But a lot of times I feel like we lean on that excuse. Like, oh, I'm just trying to keep it peaceful. I'm just trying to, oh, there's no need to bring that up. What that does is that makes us silent. That makes us completely unreliable. I think about a lot. I don't know who said this, where it's from, but if you know a piece of information, and so I would say the same with belief. If you hold to a position or standard, if you know a piece of information or you have a standard, what good is that standard or that information you took in if it doesn't change anything, if you don't do anything about it? You might as well have not known it or not believed it. You know, and I'm preaching to myself here too. But genuinely, if I'm not going to live my life by the standards I've set up for myself, if I'm not going to speak up about things I believe in, why do I believe in these things? Why do I have these standards? This apathy that we've developed because of, and it is subconsciously, but it's a very conscious decision as well when you're deciding whether or not to address something. But this apathy we've developed towards terrible things. We've become jaded to terrible things. I mean, in America and all over the world. If it's not in our backyard, we don't care. It's ridiculous. Everything, sort of a weird thing I found with it, as well as what I was saying earlier, was that everything feels so believable. Someone could say, give me a new piece of information, and I'd be like, oh yeah, that could be true. So easily. Some crazy thing about some shadow, whatever. And as soon as I hear it, I'm like, it very well could be true. Whereas before I'd be like, I don't know, that sounds kind of crazy. But so much crazy stuff has been happening and has happened and has been revealed that it's like, yeah, anything goes. Anything goes. To the point where, like, it's hard to, obviously you have to do your own research and you have to be learned and look through these things, but it's hard to tell what's real and what's not anymore. I won't even get into the whole AI crap. But yeah, I mean, sensationalism is very profitable. And so any kind of story, any kind of whatever claim could be brought up and ran with, because that's just how it is now. But it's so believable that it's just accepted. And I'm not saying this as a counter to to say that a lot of these things that we've been learning recently, don't believe everything, like you shouldn't believe it. This is all just, fake. I'm not saying that. I'm saying because of these things, it's created a jaded sort of mentality to where not only are you willing to believe every new insane thing that's happened, you don't care. It's like, dang, that's crazy. A few decades ago, this would have been a complete, well, I won't go that far, but it would have been a lot different. Everyone would be talking about these things for years. Whereas now it's the trend cycle and the information cycle is so fast that we've already gotten over and moved past one of the biggest things that's happened in decades. A lot of information that came out. We've already gotten over it. The masses, I'm not saying everyone watching or everyone, but the masses, it's just like, yeah, that's crazy. What's next? And then with that, people are going scot-free. Sort of apathy towards things, and I feel it too. It's hard to, and it's stressful and it's straining to invest in these things, and it's not like me as an individual is going to make a difference in the sense of like a huge difference, but it's just a small difference of keeping topics relevant, keeping things, not letting things go so easily, not swallowing this pill that we're force-fed and being like, hey, just accept it because you're powerless. You can at least talk about things. You could at least be upset. It's almost as if you're primed with crazier and crazier information so that the next thing could be worse, and then they can get away with that. It's almost like, and especially with sort of online, it's almost like this box we hold in our hands with flashing lights that beam into our skulls every minute of the day is reality, and then this is our escapism. This is our fantasy. Out there, the life you imagine for yourself, that's the fantasy. And this could just be my chronically online brain, but I think a lot of people would relate that entertainment online, it used to be an escape. It used to be comforting, and it still is sometimes, in bad ways a lot of times. It used to be where to get your information, sure, but it was fun. It was cool. There was a lot of great stuff on there, and now it's just dread. Constant dread and pain, and knowing so much about the world and watching it burn. And then you come out here and you're like, right now, for this few minutes that I'm out here, this is okay, you know, but this is real. This is the real stuff right now. It sounds a little crazy, but it's almost switched to where the escapism mechanism of shoving a screen in your face has become where we live. We live in this thing. We live on that thing. And here, every once in a while, you're like, I'm going to spread around through my schedule to go on a walk, to go to the coffee shop, to hang with friends. Those are my escapes. No, that's not the escape. You've Alice in Wonderlanded yourself into a screen to where this is your life now. And I'm talking to myself too. I'm on it all the time, and I don't need to be. And what does it help? Sure, you can learn stuff, but you're just overstimulated with pain and death and all these terrible things that the real life starts to feel a lot more peaceful than staring at something that's supposed to, you know, entertain and be fun and kill time with. I think we definitely need more grounding, more existing in reality. We need to take breaks from our phones, obviously. Everyone knows this. I need to. And you know, you have your lives, we have jobs, we have bills, and the economy's just doing peachy right now. But that's just a means to an end. Unless your job, unless your career, you're blessed enough to have a career you love and that fulfills your creative needs, and you never have to worry about money, which you are the needle in the haystack, friend, and God bless you. But most often it's just a means to an end. It's just a way to survive and live. And that's not your life. The work isn't your life. It's part of it, sure. but your job isn't your life. This is your life. What you like, what you enjoy, what you want to build, what you want to make, your hobbies, your kids, your family, your friends, exploring. That's living. And the economy we have now, your job has become just a way to get money. And we need it. You know, I work, you know, and, you know, and I have desires for a job, for a career that fulfills my creative needs and my innate need to work. Everyone needs to work. If you make passive income or something like that, and you've gotten to a place where you're not working anymore, you're not building, you're not creating, you're not doing things. I felt this. I'm not saying I've had periods of time where I wasn't getting enough work. My soul and my body felt wrong. It felt useless. I felt like I didn't have a purpose. Even with sort of my spiritual purpose and my relationship there, I still felt like I'm off, I'm wrong, there's something happening that isn't good for me. So you need to work. You need to work hard. Your body needs it. Whether that be mental or physical labor, you still need it. You need to make things. But so rare nowadays is that your job isn't just to make money. And I'm not saying every job, we're entitled to jobs that fulfill our purpose of creation and building something, and isn't just a place you dread and you clock out early at. I'm not saying we're entitled to that. But it would be great. It would be great, you know. And so oftentimes we find ourselves in our free time simulating work with hobbies, activities, because we want something that we actually enjoy, that we love, that we want to do. And most often it takes work and it takes time. And so this time outside of this sort of wage servitude, that's become our real life with how unfulfilling jobs are now. That's become our real work. That's become our real life. We feel more fulfilled creating a art piece or a book or a YouTube video or doing something that we're not getting paid for. We feel more fulfilled there and feel more real. That feels like it's more real from us than our job we clock in at to provide. And oftentimes our phones steal all of our time. Me too. I get it. I waste a lot of time on my phone. But you never feel good afterwards. You feel terrible. You feel like you had 5 hours, that's a stretch, but 5 hours, say, on your phone, doing nothing. Entertaining yourself, numbing yourself. Just terrorizing your brain cells. And then after, you felt like you could have done something with that. With the time that you have away from your job, real life, your free time, that's all for you, that's fulfilling. You numb it with entertainment. And you feel like you should have done something with that time. And now it's time to go to bed and wake up for work. It's become an escapism. We're living vicariously through our phones. We're watching people get everything they want in life. We're watching other people go on a yacht, drink extravagant drinks, eat $1,000 meals, have these things, and we get that hit of watching someone else do it, eating a huge mukbang. We get our hits watching someone else do something, even if it's something that you could very well achieve without money, you know, like exploring a town or designing a shirt, you know, the things that are, you know, very grabbable right now. Even those things. Going on a hike. We watch someone else do it, and then we don't do it. We watch someone else rebind a book, paint a painting. All these things. They're great things to watch. I'm not saying you shouldn't watch them. I watch them. But if you're only consuming other people's lives, creative works, efficient business online, if you're only consuming it, you're not doing anything. You're not being you. You're being them. You're being them. But you're not creating anything. You're not doing anything. You start to disassociate. You start to blink. Now you're watching YouTube. Blink. Now you're waking up to your alarm for work. Blink. Now you're home. Blink. Now you're listening to a podcast while you shower because you can't sit with a second of silence. And you haven't been you at all this entire time. This strange social experiment of giving yourself infinite experiences in your pocket through a light strobed screen, giving everyone infinite experiences, fake experiences, has dulled us and satisfied us with fake living, fake love. It's sad. It's very sad. It's strange. It's sad. It's I don't want to say the Matrix, whatever, vocab of that sort of sphere. I mean, that's kind of the only way to describe it. Your voyeurism life of enjoying other people's achievements through your phone. It's unhealthy mentally. You're not meant to see this many people. You're not meant to witness this many people, get to know this many people, see this many things. It's cool, but we weren't meant to do that. We were meant to experience what we experience. To get to know 5 good people. Have a few experiences here and there. Not watch infinite ones. 5 seconds of infinite things happening. It's a jarring and mentally numbing experiment. Your nerves, your dopamine, all of it is just slaughtered. To the point where I found myself, and this is troubling, walking here through trails and through the forest, fighting the urge to listen to music while I walked through, when I could have listen to the trees, and it's beautiful. And I'm happy I decided not to listen to music as I walked up here. But needing constant stimulation, detoxing yourself from this, it's draining. You start to not know who you are anymore because you've been self-inserting on millions of people. You start to not know how to act around other people. Funnily enough, seeing this many social interactions online for forever, you start to forget who am I around people? What do I say? What do I think is funny? And this is sort of drifting into the extreme, right? But it's going to the extreme. And I feel terrible for the kids, the generation under me, that from birth have RGB blasted into their retinas, that have access to all sorts of terrible things. They have more friends online than in real life. It's going to be a very strange life, generation, and the one after that. Mine's been impacted heavily because of it. We've chosen rather to have parasocial relationships with influencers than developing deep bonds with real people. We have such shallow bonds with people. We don't talk about what's troubling us, and I struggle with that. We don't talk about what we believe, what we're truly caring about, because it doesn't really matter. It matters. Getting to know people matters. And now I'm really talking to myself because I'm very introverted. But getting to know people matters. Connecting with people matters. It is this is my belief as a Christian. You cannot survive without connecting with other people. As much as men like to say, oh, I could do just fine on my own. I would say you could better than women, but you can't completely be okay. You're not okay. I think it was, who was it? Elijah in the wilderness. I could be completely wrong, but it was some prophet in the wilderness who needed a friend, who needed someone. He was on his own for a long time. And he needed... Oh, there's some people going by. I'm going to say hi to them. You need that real life connection. You need to go outside. That's such a cliche, but you need to stop consuming every single piece of news in the world. It's unnatural, knowing everything about everything. And look, I do it. I like to know things. I like to learn. And there's nothing wrong with learning and keeping up with the times. But when it's infinite things, infinite experiences, it robs you of who you are. You are what you consume instead of being you. You're other things. You are what you like. You are what you see what I'm saying? It's completely strange. It doesn't make sense. And it is not healthy. So I guess there's a big ramble sesh. It's sort of like a video diary. But I don't know. Let me know y'all's thoughts. Oh wow, I went long. Look at that. Let me know y'all's thoughts. It's sort of what I've been thinking about a lot. I'll see y'all later. I'll probably have an edited video for y'all on a real topic, sort of with the script and whatnot. But this is just something that I thought about a while.